Chapter 38:15. What the hell is that? Corn and purple potatoes are delicious. Han Yueyao didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Forget about breakfast. You eat this for lunch. Look outside. Even the beggars on the street have a KFC drumstick for lunch. You eat this? Don't you feel ashamed? Su Yu's words made Han Yueyao laugh. How dare you laugh? I'm lazy and don't like to move. The company doesn't pay for the food, it's a benefit for us. I just think that after everyone leaves, I'll feel better if I dance a few dances alone. If you don't like to move, you can ask the cafeteria to deliver food. Han Yueyao, President Su, that's you, right? I'm just a little trainee. I'm not qualified to ask the cafeteria to deliver food. You're crazy. It's okay. I'll give you special privileges. You're in a special period and can enjoy special treatment. Really? Han Yueyao was delighted. Yeah. I'll ask him to tell the cafeteria. President Su, you're so good to me. Is it because... Han Yueyao lowered her head and hesitated to finish her sentence. Don't misunderstand. I'm not in love with you and have no feelings for you. Su Yu immediately explained. I know. What I mean is, you're so nice to me. Is it because you've implicated me in the car accident? The car accident is in the past. Forget it. You're not disabled or disfigured, right? Su Yu chuckled. Then, before Han Yueyao could finish, In came in with a big bag. How many people do you want to eat? Su Yu looked at the food box in Anne's hand, dumbfounded. I told the cafeteria that President Su wanted to eat lunch and was so tired that he was sweating profusely. He was carrying a big bag with both hands. Let's eat. I'm hungry too. Su Yu took the food and spread it on the floor. Then the three of them sat cross-legged on the floor and ate around the many food boxes. Without the burden of being an idol, Han Yueyao wolfed down the delicious food without any gentleness. As for the big piece of marinated bone, she directly grabbed it and chewed on it. Can you wear gloves? Su Yu looked at her silently and reminded her. It's too troublesome. Let's just eat. Everyone is eating their own food. No one is looking at each other, and no one is disturbing each other. And was speechless. Su Yu, you're really fierce when you eat? Su Yu saw that a certain someone had been saying that it was fine and that they could make do with whatever they wanted. Now that she saw delicious food, her moral integrity fell to the ground. She was drunk. The cafeteria was also very practical. As soon as they heard President Su's order, they almost prepared a Manchu Han imperial feast. There were a total of 12 dishes, a combination of meat and vegetables as well as soup. It was perfect. Xiaoan, Go to the cafeteria again later. Do you want more dishes? President Su. Su Yu was speechless. No. Tell the cafeteria to send Han Yueyao's food here. She's too busy to eat while she's practicing. And looked at Su Yu and then at Han Yueyao. His eyes were clearly asking if they were having an affair. It's not too much, President Su. I only need one dish and one soup. Han Yueyao also felt embarrassed to ask for food, so she quickly told him her request. It's too little. 2 meat and 1 vegetable. Add 1 soup and 1 fruit after the meal. It's nutritious, Su Yu pondered. President Su, you're so good to Miss Han. In front of Han Yueyao and Su Yu, and couldn't help but blurt out. Chapter 38:16. Anne's words froze the air for a while. Then Su Yu turned around and threw a punch at him. Of course, he didn't really hit him. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Do you want to quit your job? I really want to do it. President Su, don't fire me. And smiled cheekily. Come on, try it. This stir-fried tofu is delicious. Han Yueyao changed the topic and said something about the food. The news that the 3 of them were in the dance studio immediately spread in the company. This wasn't the most shocking news. The most shocking news came from the cafeteria. Han Yueyao was a newcomer and hadn't established herself yet. She wasn't popular or famous. But the cafeteria actually wanted to deliver food to her every day. And there were requirements. This was a benefit that no one but Su Yu could enjoy. So, rumors spread everywhere in the company. The performance department wasn't so bad, After all, they knew Han Yueyao's personality. But the other departments, when Han Yueyao went to the pantry to get some water, the women there didn't know she was there. He even managed to decipher such a conversation. Han Yueyao is really something. President Su has been abstinent for years for Dr. Hua, but he broke it for Han Yueyao. Nonsense. I think he hasn't gotten it yet. Han Yueyao keeps a low profile and is much better than Gao Yaruo, okay? Haven't you heard that a dog that bites doesn't bark? Who the hell is Gao Yaruo? If she was in an ancient palace drama, she'd be cannon fodder that wouldn't last more than 2 episodes. Han Yueyao, on the other hand, is much more cunning. She didn't reveal anything and made Su Yu treat her well. It's impossible to say that they didn't sleep together. President Su treats her exceptionally well. That's good. Han Yueyao is going to be famous soon. She might be even more famous than Jian Tong when she was at her peak. So, why don't we suck up to her a little? Who knows, we might even be able to freeload a meal. I heard that the food that the cafeteria sends to her is all very specific. There are meat and vegetables, fruits and soup. She's practically treated like an emperor. I'm so envious. Sleeping with the boss is so different. A place with a lot of women would always have the most disputes. Standing at the door with a glass of water in her hand, Han Yueyao had mixed feelings. According to her usual personality, she would definitely rush in and fight to the death with these gossipy people. But now, she was unusually quiet because she knew that this was just the tip of the iceberg. The 2 big things that Su Yu had done for her were enough to make her a scapegoat. However, she didn't feel humiliated at all. Instead, she felt a little lucky. Not everyone could get involved in a scandal with Su Yu, right? Like every woman who liked Su Yu, Han Yueyao couldn't suppress her excitement. However, she would not confess to him, find fault with him, or scheme to get into bed with him, or anything like that. At this moment, she only hoped that she could keep this little secret in her heart. She would not say it, not let Su Yu know, and not let anyone else know. Municipal Bureau when Gao Ran was on his way out after work, he called Chen Yuning. Let's go, little Chen. I'll treat you to a meal today to fulfill my promise. So soon? Chen Yuning was flattered. Well, do you have something to do today? Can we do it another day? No. It's fine. Let's do it today. Thank you, Director Gao. Chen Yuning wouldn't let go of this opportunity and immediately took her coat. Chapter 38:17. Both of them walked away in front of their colleagues in the Municipal Public Security Bureau, so they didn't think much of it. They thought the director was rewarding this young comrade who had done a good deed. Chen Yuning got into Gao Ran's car cheerfully. It was her first time sitting in Gao Ran's Land Rover, which was confiscated by his wife a while ago. The black Land Rover Range Rover looked majestic when driven by a man. Sitting in the passenger seat, she thought happily that if she could be with Gao Ran in the future, she might be able to sit here every day. Little Chen, sit in the back. I like to sit in the front and chat with you. Chen Yuning was obviously not willing to sit in the back. Who didn't want to sit in the front passenger seat? I'm going to pick up my son from kindergarten. That's his seat. Pick up your son? Chen Yuning was displeased. She thought it was just the 2 of them having dinner together. But she didn't ask, thinking maybe Zhu Lingling was working overtime and didn't have time to pick up the kid and asked him to pick up the kid. Although he was reluctant, he still sat at the back. Director Gao, kids aren't allowed to sit in the front, right? Won't the traffic police do something about it? Chen Yuning was displeased. He thought to himself, what you're doing is against the traffic rules. All the traffic police in the city know my car. I don't run red lights or park illegally. With a smile, Gao Ran started the car. Chen Yuning fell silent. In fact, Gao Buyuan never sat in the front. The truth was, there was a dashcam in the car. If Lingling saw Chen Yuning sitting in the front passenger seat, she'd go crazy. Even if it was nothing, it wouldn't be good to knock over a jar of vinegar. Director Gao had an idea and made Buyuan the scapegoat. His words worked well. Sitting in the back seat, Chen Yuning found it inconvenient to talk to Gao Ran. After the car started, she didn't have time to find a topic. Gao Ran turned on the music and played a heavy metal song, making the car noisily noisy. He couldn't hear anything Chen Yuning said, Seeing this, Chen Yuning didn't know what to say. She sat in the back and browsed her WeChat moments and played with her cell phone. When they arrived at the kindergarten, Buyuan was escorted out by the teacher. However, there was another child beside him. It was none other than Little Bean. "Oh, why is my daughter-in-law here?" Gao Ran was amused. "I'm bringing her home for dinner." "What's wrong? Dad, you don't welcome her?" Buyuan had a self-righteous look on his face. He thought to himself, "It's all because I want to fight against your mistress. That's why I shamelessly promised Little Bean 3 black swan cakes and 10 bowls of Haagen-Dazs in exchange for this opportunity." "Hello, Uncle Gao," Little Bean said politely. "Let's go, daughter-in-law. Let's go to Uncle's house to eat something good." "But, where's your sister?" "Dad, what are you thinking? Pudding isn't mine. Why would I want her?" Buyuan rolled his eyes. "No, I just want to invite Pudding over for a meal. Nothing else. My sister is busy tonight," Little Bean explained. "All right, then you two quickly get in the car. It's cold outside." She saw the 2 children. Chen Yuning was overjoyed. "Wow, this must be your son. Director Gao, he's so handsome. He looks just like you." Chen Yuning looked at Gao Buyuan and praised him. "Auntie, you have bad eyesight. I look more like my mom. They say that sons look like their mothers. Do you know that?" Gao Buyuan gave Chen Yuning a warning. Chapter 38:18. Instantly, Chen Yuning felt embarrassed. Was she scolded by a little boy? However, the most exciting part was yet to come. Before she could react, Qin Mo had already finished speaking. Immediately, Little Bean pinched Buyuan. "Boy, how can you talk to Auntie so rudely?" Buyuan looked at Little Bean in bewilderment. "She's young, but her eyesight has deteriorated. Poor her. We should sympathize with her. My mommy said we should help the handicapped." Buyuan, "Ha ha." Chen Yuning, Gao Ran looked embarrassed. Little Chen, don't mind her. My daughter-in-law likes to joke. She's just a little joker." Chen Yuning said with a smile, "Chief Gao, I don't mind." At this moment, she had to show her tolerance and continue to pretend to be a noble and pure lotus. But when the 4 of them walked to the car, another problem arose. The 2 kids couldn't sit in the front passenger seat, could they? Seizing the opportunity, Chen Yuning said, "Chief Gao, I think they should sit in the back. It's too crowded in the front." Gao Ran also realized the problem because he didn't expect Little Bean to come with them. While he was hesitating, Little Bean said innocently, "Boy, you sit in the front passenger seat. I want to sit in the back with this pretty auntie. I like pretty auntie the most. You two sit in the back." Gao Buyuan wanted to give Little Bean a thumbs up. Why was she so amazing? Who said Little Bean couldn't fight alone without Pudding? She was so good at fighting. "Oh, I see." Obviously, Chen Yuning was reluctant. "Auntie, you don't dislike me, do you? Or, do you just want to be closer to my Uncle Gao?" Little Bean's words were fatal. Chen Yuning blushed. "I don't. Why would I?" "Kid, you're overthinking. Come on. I'll hold you in the back." Unwillingly, Chen Yuning sat in the back row with Little Bean. The back seat of the Land Rover was spacious enough for Little Bean to move around freely. "Buyuan, do you want some milk?" Little Bean opened her school bag. Inside was the food her grandma had brought for her when she left home this morning. Although Huamin strictly forbade it, the biased grandmother would still secretly put some delicious food in her 2 granddaughters' school bags. Pudding, on the other hand, didn't seem to matter. Thinking that she was going to Buyuan's house today, she didn't eat all the food and left some for Buyuan. Sure. Buyuan seemed to be very interested in whatever Little Bean said. The 2 kids played very well. Chief Gao, is it Dr. Hua and President Qin's daughter? After falling in love with Gao Ran, Chen Yuning had done her homework and knew about Gao Ran's circle of friends. Only the little princess of the Qin family could play so well with the children of the Gao family. Well, yes. Gao Ran answered her while driving. So, is she the elder sister or the younger sister? Chen Yuning tried to find a topic. "Auntie, you can ask me if you want to know." "Uncle Gao is driving. It's dangerous to distract him like this. You don't value your own life." Chen Yuning, "Yeah. Auntie Little Chen, Don't talk to my dad. Tell him to focus on driving, Gao Buyuan agreed with Little Bean. I got it. Chen Yuning was displeased, but she had to pretend to be happy. Little Bean took out 2 bottles of yogurt. They were the kind that could be drunk directly without a straw. She handed one to Buyuan and opened the other for herself, taking a big gulp. At this moment, Gao Ran's car made a sharp turn. The most exciting moment came. Little Bean spat out the big mouthful of yogurt on the floral dress Chen Yuning had carefully prepared for her. Even the black leather jacket was sprayed all over by her. The scene was quite spectacular. Chapter 38:19. Chen Yuning looked at the yogurt that Little Bean spat out. Instantly, her face turned pale. She swore that if Gao Ran wasn't here, she would teach this kid a lesson. Auntie, I'm sorry. I got carsick. Uncle Gao made a sharp turn and I didn't jump. Little Bean looked at Chen Yuning innocently and pitifully. She was so good at acting, thanks to her sister. Little Bean had once asked Pudding when she was bored at home, "Sister, what's the best way to treat a hypocrite?" "You're more hypocrite than her. Give her a taste of her own medicine," Pudding concluded. Little Bean, who was fighting alone today, vividly embodied her sister's advice. Chen Yuning was about to explode, but she still pretended to be gentle. "It's okay. I won't blame you. You didn't do it on purpose." Chen Yuning immediately took out a wet wipe from her purse and wiped the yogurt off her clothes. God knew how expensive her clothes were. She had saved several months' salary to buy it, but the kids spat it all over her clothes. "Little Bean, you're too careless. Fortunately, Auntie Chen is generous and won't blame you. You must be careful." Buyuan was laughing in his heart, but he had to say those words to appease Little Bean. Gao Ran almost laughed out loud, thinking that Little Bean was indeed the daughter of Huamin and Qin Chu. No one could be as smart as her. It was difficult for Chen Yuning to deal with Little Bean. Little Bean was lucky that Pudding didn't come. Otherwise, Chen Yuning had thought that Gao Ran would pick up the kid and drive her home, and they would look for a place to eat. But when the car stopped in front of Gao Ran's building, she was hesitant. She was a little hesitant. "Chief Gao, we're eating. My Lingling has prepared dinner and is waiting for us." "In your home?" Chen Yuning was dumbfounded. "Yeah, I rarely eat outside anymore. I'm sick of it. The food at home is still the best. When she heard that I was going to treat you to a meal, my wife was very enthusiastic. After hearing about your heroic deeds, she kept asking me to take you to see her. It's a rare opportunity. She heard that you were coming over, so she came back early to prepare. Then, will it be too much trouble for your wife?" Different from other colleagues, Chen Yuning refused to call Zhu Lingling's sister-in-law. Instead, she called her your wife. "That won't happen. My Lingling couldn't ask for more." Chen Yuning braced herself and followed Gao Ran upstairs. She had been thinking about one thing the entire way. Was this dinner at Gao Ran's house unintentional, or did he prepare this meal on purpose? Could it be that he knew what she was thinking and wanted to put her in her place? A united front with his wife? The more Chen Yuning thought about it, the more agitated she felt. She became uneasy. She hated Zhu Lingling and the sight of this woman. So, the moment she stepped into the Gao family's house, she put on a hypocritical mask and began to act. "I'm sorry. I didn't know I was coming to your house, so I didn't bring any gifts," Chen Yuning said to Zhu Lingling with a smile. "Oh, don't be so polite. I won't be picky. After all, it's not easy for a police officer like you. You don't even have enough money to spend in a month. You can't buy caterpillars and birds' nests like me, can you?" Zhu Lingling smiled with a dagger in her eyes. "Auntie Lingling." Little Bean dashed over and threw herself into Zhu Lingling's arms. "Oh, daughter-in-law, why are you here?" Ignoring Chen Yuning, Zhu Lingling picked up Little Bean. "Let's go, little Chen. Let's eat." Gao Ran put a new pair of slippers on the floor. After changing, Chen Yuning walked to the dining room with Gao Ran. She glanced at the dining room, and her expression changed even more. "Sister Lingling, you ordered takeout, right?" Chen Yuning's smile was sarcastic. The table was filled with food boxes with the restaurant's logo. She knew it was takeout at first glance. But was it a good idea to treat someone to a meal and order takeout? Chapter 3820. Yeah. They all say the takeout food here is delicious. Let's try it, Zhu Lingling answered with a smile. Director Gao said we'd eat at home. I thought, you cooked it yourself? Chen Yuning continued to hold the food in her hands, smiling without showing her teeth. That's because old Gao didn't tell you that my cooking is super bad. It's comparable to a dark chef, so how can I embarrass myself by serving a guest? After all, you've made a great contribution to the city bureau this time. You're flattering me, Sister Lingling. I just happened to be there. They chatted for a while and then sat down to eat. To be honest, Chen Yuning had no appetite at all. She had thought it was a dinner with Gao Ran alone, but now it was ruined. Looking at the food on the table, Chen Yuning had no appetite at all. But for the sake of Director Gao, she pretended to pick up the chopsticks and nibble. Auntie Chen, hurry up and eat? Wu Yuan said modestly. Okay. Little Chen, don't be shy. There's a lot of food. Eat more, Zhu Lingling said with a chuckle. Sister Lingling, the oil used in takeout isn't good. You'd better not order takeout from now on. I'm an adult and it's okay for me to eat it, but Bu Yuan is still young. It's not good for children to eat it. As a mother, you have to think about your children, right? Chen Yuning was complaining about Zhu Lingling, and she said it on purpose for Gao Ran to hear. She meant that his wife didn't know how to take care of children. To his surprise, Zhu Lingling was prepared to deal with this little vixen. After hearing his words, Zhu Lingling immediately replied, Little Chen, don't worry. I ordered takeout because you're a guest. Usually, when there aren't any guests at home, I cook for them personally. Although it's terrible, they're used to it and don't mind. Now, Chen Yuning realized that they usually cooked by themselves. So, she ordered takeout because she was here. What kind of people were they? At this moment, Little Bean sat down beside Chen Yuning. Auntie, I'll sit beside you. You're pretty and I like you. But don't you want to play with Bu Yuan? Why don't you sit next to him? Chen Yuning learned her lesson and didn't want to have anything to do with this little girl. But how could Little Bean give her a chance? It's okay with Bu Yuan. I see him often, but I don't see you often. So I have to cherish this rare opportunity. When she said the word opportunity, Little Bean smiled faintly. Why did Chen Yuning feel that this kid was full of tricks? Sure enough, a bottle of seafood soy sauce appeared in Little Bean's hand. Caught off guard, he poured the soy sauce into Chen Yuning's bowl. Chen Yuning, Auntie, let me tell you a particularly delicious way to eat it. Rice with soy sauce. It's really super delicious. Chen Yuning, Auntie, I'm a witness. I've eaten it before. It's delicious. Try it, Gao Bu Yuan added. Auntie doesn't like soy sauce, actually. This soy sauce is different from the usual one. Try it quickly. As she spoke, she lifted the bowl to Chen Yuning's lips. Embarrassed, Chen Yuning glanced at Gao Bu Yuan who was sitting across from her. My daughter-in-law doesn't lie. Maybe it's really delicious. Try it. Little Chen, don't be shy in my house. Gao Bu Yuan was on Little Bean's side. Then Chen Yuning was completely confused. Finally, under everyone's gaze, she took a mouthful of rice soaked in soy sauce, and her stomach churned. Chapter 3821. Auntie, are you okay? Have some water. Little Bean handed her a bottle. Feeling terrible, Chen Yuning didn't even have time to look at the bottle before she took it. She took a big gulp. Then she rushed into the washroom and threw up. In the dining room, Zhu Lingling glanced at Little Bean. Daughter-in-law, what did you give her? She has such a big reaction. A durian-flavored drink? Zhu Lingling, Gao Ran, Gao Bu Yuan, our Little Bean is really something. With you around, we don't need to ask Auntie Huamin to help us. Honey, do you feel bad that we're giving her a hard time? Zhu Lingling looked at Gao Ran with a smile. Comrade Zhu Lingling, don't set me up. I won't fall into your trap. Why would I feel bad? We're not related to each other. Then Chen Yuning walked out of the washroom with a pale face. Her face was livid. Little Chen, are you okay? Zhu Lingling asked. Sister Lingling, I'm fine. I don't like the smell of durian. It's too smelly. That's why I couldn't help it. I'm sorry for making a fool of myself. Under such circumstances, Chen Yuning could still talk to Zhu Lingling calmly, which showed that she was able to keep her composure. Huamin was right, she wasn't easy to deal with. It's okay. I'm glad you're okay. Come on. Let's eat. I really can't eat. My stomach hurts. Director Gao, I'll go back now. You're leaving so soon? You haven't eaten anything yet. I don't have a good appetite these days and can't eat. You guys take your time. Chen Yuning thought she would be crippled if she stayed any longer. So, she decided to leave as soon as possible. Let me walk you out. Zhu Lingling stood up immediately. Honey, you walk little Chen out. I'll get food for the kids. Gao Ran agreed with Zhu Lingling. Just like that, Zhu Lingling led Chen Yuning downstairs. The two women just went out and didn't speak along the way. The atmosphere was very tense. Chen Yuning didn't stop until she was about to reach the gate of the neighborhood. Sister Lingling, you're pretty good, really. Are you praising me or insulting me? Zhu Lingling stared into her eyes. Of course I'm praising you. No, compared to you, little Chen, I'm not strong enough. If I were strong enough, why would I be targeted by wolves and tigers? Don't you think so? Chen Yuning knew what she meant, but she wasn't mad. Instead, she smiled slightly. Sister Lingling, I've always felt that people should know their limits, right? Of course. Zhu Lingling nodded. Chief Gao is really outstanding. Maybe he'll have a better future if he finds a better wife. What do you mean? Zhu Lingling's face immediately darkened. I'm just saying. Sister Lingling, please don't take it to heart. I'm just a straightforward person. Bullshit. A straightforward person and a mean mouth are two different things. My old Gao is kind and gives you face, but you can't be shameless. Look at you. You're a student of a famous university, you're good-looking and have a good job. Instead of being a good person, you want to seduce someone else's husband. Don't you feel ashamed? Your parents work hard to run the rice noodle shop and support your education. Do you think it's easy? They're old now, but you're slandering them. Sister Lingling, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. You don't have any evidence. How can you frame me? Frame you? You know it yourself. Chen Yuning, I'm telling you. Don't try to seduce my old Gao again, or I'll make you die a horrible death. Sister Lingling, you know what? Everyone covets the good stuff. Besides, even if I'm not here, there might be others. You don't have to be so nervous. You look ugly when you swear like a shrew. I don't understand why a nice man like Chief Gao can't stand sharing a bed with you. Chen Yuning scolded Zhu Lingling without using any dirty words, but her words were like knives stabbing into Zhu Lingling's heart. Chapter 38-22. Zhu Lingling was surprised to see Chen Yuning's true colors so soon. Huamin was a good judge of character. Chen Yuning was a two-faced bitch. She couldn't hold it in anymore. What was she talking about? Listen to her. She was mocking Zhu Lingling for not being good enough for Gao Ran. I'll tell you the truth. Zhu Lingling, no matter how bad she is Gao Ran's legal wife and the woman he loves deeply. But you, no matter how excellent you are, you're just a vixen who covets another woman's husband, a shameless mistress. Oh no, the current situation is that Gao Ran doesn't care about you at all. You're just a clown. You didn't learn to be good at such a young age and are so scheming. Aren't you afraid of retribution? I feel sorry for your parents. If my daughter were like her, I'd strangle her to death. She's a waste of air. After all, you're not even a mistress. Tell me, what are you? Not to be outdone, Zhu Lingling retorted with a long string of insults. Chen Yuning's face turned darker and darker. Let's wait and see. Heh, keep an eye on your husband. Don't let him sleep in my bed one day. Don't worry. My husband has no choice. He won't sleep with you even if he has to sleep with a blow-up doll. After all, you're disgusting, but a blow-up doll isn't. Chen Yuning. In the end, she wasn't in the mood to argue with Zhu Lingling anymore. She turned and left. Obviously, she was infuriated by Zhu Lingling. On her way back, Zhu Lingling walked briskly and was in a good mood. It was the first time she had won such a glorious victory. It was a heavy blow to that shameless vixen. She took out her cell phone and sent a voice message to Huamin. Mian, I won. I won the first battle. Congratulations, but you have to be careful. That woman is not to be trifled with. Don't worry, I'll be on high alert. Oh right, I also have to thank my daughter-in-law. She's too awesome. What did my little bean do this time? Huamin had a bad feeling about this. No. My daughter-in-law performed very well. Thank you for giving birth to a good daughter-in-law for me. Huamin, all right, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go back and eat. By the time Zhu Lingling came back, all the food on the table had been removed. On the table were the ingredients that Zhu Lingling had prepared earlier. It was hot pot with fresh beef and mutton, as well as a lot of vegetables, vermicelli, and sweet potatoes. Mom, these takeaways cost a lot. It's a pity to throw them away. Why don't we give them to the homeless uncle at the ATM in front of our neighborhood? This was Gao Buyuan's suggestion. Son, you're so generous. Gao Ran was surprised by Buyuan's behavior. My mom said that as long as we're alive, we should do our best to take care of ourselves. Then, if we can, we should help others. I didn't know you had such a gentle side. Gao Ran teased Zhu Lingling. Don't talk nonsense. Let's eat the hot pot. Now that the enemy is gone, we can eat in peace. Daughter-in-law, come here and let your mother-in-law give you a kiss. Zhu Lingling picked up Little Bean and gave him a quick peck on the cheek. Aunt Lingling, I had prepared a lot of tactics, but this piece of trash was too weak. She ran away after a few moves. Little Bean was very pleased with herself. It's okay. If my dad has a mistress in the future, I'll ask you to help me deal with it. Hearing Buyuan's words, Gao Ran almost burst into tears. Chapter 38-23. Son, you're tricking your dad. Zhu Lingling laughed so hard that tears almost came out of her eyes. Gao Buyuan, are you still our son? How can you say something like that? Over here, they were eating, drinking, and enjoying themselves. Gao Ran was always on the side of his wife and son. Now, even his daughter-in-law was on their side. No matter how cunning Qin Yuning, the high-level vixen, was, she couldn't do anything. Huamin and Qin Chu didn't get involved in this matter because they believed Lingling would handle it well. In South Hill Manor, Huamin knocked on the door and entered the study with a cup of hot coffee. Qin Chu was still busy. Honey, have some coffee. I told you not to do this. Qin Chu's eyes were full of reproach and heartache. I'm fine. It's not like I'm going to give birth soon. I don't need to be so pretentious. Huamin put the coffee on Qin Chu's desk. Then he sat down on the chair beside him. Little Bean won't come back tonight? Qin Chu asked. Your daughter betrayed you. She's only 3 years old, but she can't wait to live with her in-laws. Qin Chu, didn't Pudding leave? She didn't. Xiaowei and the others often come to the old house for dinner and don't come home often. That's good. At least leave one for me. Qin Chu was exasperated. It's okay. That's what happens when you raise a daughter. When she grows up, she runs off to live with someone else. It's sad. Huamin put his arm around Qin Chu's neck and sighed. That's why I said our family is the richest. We can recruit 2 live-in sons-in-law. Then we'll see if your son agrees. Huamin pointed at his belly. We have a lot of money and can divide the property equally. Even so, the 3 of them won't be able to spend it all in their lifetime. In the past few years, Qin Chu had received his second uncle's performance in the U.S. headquarters. GK was as rich as a nation. Qin Chu was young but had been on the national rich list for several years. Honey, there's something I didn't tell Lingling today. What? That Chen girl did something a few days ago. Didn't she blackmail Gao Ran for a meal? Yeah. Qin Chu nodded his head. Do you know how she did it? Didn't she save people? Guess what I found? Huamian asked mysteriously. Could it be that this is a show that was deliberately designed to show her bravery for a just cause so that she can develop further with old Gao? Qin Chu's brain worked fast enough and he immediately thought of something. As expected of my man, you guessed it right away. I wondered why a woman like her would be so kind and brave, so I asked someone to investigate it. To my surprise, the kidnapper is an old friend of Qin Yuning's. Later, he joined a gang of gangsters and had nothing to do. I heard that his father was hospitalized for a kidney transplant and his family spent a lot of money on it. Coincidentally, 1 week before Chen Yuning did what she did, the suspect had 50,000 yuan in his bank account. 50,000 yuan. Qin Chu frowned at the amount. 50,000 yuan isn't a lot, but it's a lot for Chen Yuning. She might have saved it for years. But she's smart and didn't transfer it to the suspect directly. After all, she graduated from the public security university and is good at anti-reconnaissance. I found that she withdrew 50,000 yuan from an industrial bank 1 week ago and went to a game parlor near her home. She played slot machines with the 50,000 yuan and lost the game. Qin Chu immediately guessed what was going on and continued, "Could it be that the suspected gangster owns the arcade?" Chapter 38-24. He didn't open it, but he had something to do with it. The hooligan has a girlfriend who's also a delinquent. The arcade belongs to that woman, so I think Chen Yuning took the opportunity to lose the money and gave it to that person indirectly. That's a great loss. For 50,000 yuan, he became a suspect and will go to jail for several years. Is it worth it? I found it strange at first. Later, I investigated both openly and secretly and found that the hooligan has had a crush on Chen Yuning since elementary school, for many years. Hearing Huamin's words, Qin Chu finally understood. That makes sense. But in this case, this woman is very cunning. Qin Chu suddenly felt it wasn't a simple matter. I'm shocked too. She's young, but she's so scheming. I'll talk to old Gao and ask him to send her away as soon as possible. Mr. Qin was arrogant, but he never underestimated his enemies. After Huamin told him the result of the investigation, he vaguely felt it wasn't a good thing to let such a woman work for Gao Ran. Huamin also knew Gao Ran always listened to Qin Chu. They chatted for a while longer. Feeling sleepy, Huamin got up and went back to his bedroom. Half an hour later, Qin Chu finished the last few files in his hand. On his way back to his bedroom from the study, he passed by Pudding's room and found it was lit up. Qin Chu checked his watch and found it was 10:30 p.m., but Pudding was still awake. Frowning, he stopped and knocked on the door. "Come in." "Daddy." Wearing a cotton nightgown, Pudding sat in a chair with her long hair down. On the desk was a laptop. "Baby, why aren't you asleep?" In fact, Qin Chu sometimes cared about his eldest daughter very much. It was said that the crybaby got the milk. Since Little Bean liked to act coquettishly and play tricks, her family paid special attention to her. Pudding, on the other hand, was sensible, calm, quiet, and easily neglected by her family. If you looked closely, you would find that Pudding's personality was more like Qin Chu's. After all, Huamin had a playful, cute, and witty side to her. But this child in the crowd was always the most low-key, coldest, and most arrogant one. It was as if the whole world had to accompany her in her loneliness. "I'm still working on some things." Qin Chu glanced at the contents of the notebook and was slightly surprised. "You know these things?" "Auntie taught me a little," Pudding answered honestly. "Baby, you're still young. It's not safe to be exposed to hackers too early." "Daddy, don't worry. What I'm playing now is just child's play." "I saw that you've been selling the shares of the subsidiary company recently, and then a few companies have started to buy them. Do you know the background of those companies?" Qin Chu usually didn't ask about his daughter's business, but if he found that she was in danger, he would definitely step forward to protect her. "It's Hui Yanyan's doing." The legal representatives of those companies are more or less related to Hui Yanyan. Pudding's eyes were calm when she said this, as if everything was under control. "You even found out about this. My daughter is amazing." Qin Chu reached out his hand dotingly and patted Pudding's head. "Daddy, please believe me. Since I've chosen this path, I'll work hard and protect myself." This sentence was like a daughter's promise to her father. Qin Chu was slightly moved and then nodded. "I believe you. I believe that my daughter is the best. Fortunately, Little Bean isn't home today. Otherwise, she would be jealous. Daddy is rarely so good to me." Pudding smiled. Chapter 38-25. Hearing this, Qin Chu felt a dull pain in his heart. It seemed even Pudding thought her family liked Little Bean more. Pudding, Daddy and Mommy love you and your sister equally. It's okay. Daddy and Mommy can treat Little Bean better. After all, she's younger than me. There was no jealousy in Pudding's eyes. She seemed to have accepted the fact calmly. She didn't complain about why her parents didn't love her more. Pudding, Daddy, I understand. You don't have to explain. I'm the older sister and I'll take good care of Little Bean and Little Bean. I don't think you and Mommy don't love me anymore. In fact, I'm just trying to become better and help you and Mommy share the burden of the family. So, I'm one of the most important members of the family. That's right. Xianxia nodded, feeling an indescribable feeling in his heart. Daddy, you don't have to interfere with the stock market. I can handle it myself. That woman bullies me and wants to take revenge on you and Mommy. But I won't give her the chance. Pudding's logical mind was very active. After seeing through the enemy's trick, she began to set a trap for them. Xianxia believed his daughter's intelligence wasn't wasted and wasn't worried that Hui Yanyan would play tricks on the stock market. Daddy only said one thing. Go to bed early and don't stay up late. Don't worry, Daddy. I'll take care of it in 10 minutes. Good night, baby. Good night, Daddy. This time, Pudding kissed Xianxia lightly on the cheek. Words couldn't express the shock his daughter brought to him. But whether it was the smart Pudding or the adorable Little Bean, they were both his loved ones. Xianxia would always be proud of them. After Mingxi went to Singapore, Wei Ying didn't hear from him for a week. She didn't call him or contact him on WeChat. But she vaguely heard from her good friend in Singapore that Mingxi was still there, dealing with this difficult issue. 3 days later, Wei Ying was trying on high heels in a luxury store when her cell phone rang. Ing. Hearing this voice, Wei Ying had mixed feelings. The long-lost familiarity made her want to cry. But she had to hold back her tears. Brother Mingxi. Xiaoying, I'm back. Do you have time to meet me? But Wei Ying was surprised. Yes, right now. I just got off the plane. I really want to see you. Okay, let's pick a place. Wei Ying wanted to pick a coffee shop or something. However, Mingxi said, where are you now? I'll go and find you. I'm at the DR Famous Museum. Wei Ying looked at the shop sign and gave him the address in a daze. 30 minutes Laterra black Bentley Continental was parked in front of the shop. Mingxi got out of the car and walked in. He was wearing a light blue windbreaker, but the stubble on his face made him look like he had been through a lot. His days in Singapore must have been mentally and physically drained. Just from his good friend's words, he knew how much of a headache this matter was. Brother Mingxi. Wei Ying had picked out a few pairs of shoes and sat on the sofa, drinking black tea as she waited. Mingxi didn't speak to Wei Ying immediately. Instead, he turned his head and spoke to the saleswoman. Please wrap up all the shoes my friend picked out for me. I'll pay for them with my card. Sir. The saleswoman had seen many people trying to please their girlfriends and was familiar with the routine. Wei Ying was surprised and a bit flustered. She immediately stood up and stared at Mingxi, who had just returned from a long journey. Brother Mingxi, what are you doing? Chapter 38:26. Didn't you say you were going to beg for forgiveness? Then, Mingxi walked to the cashier and paid 120,000 yuan for 4 pairs of shoes for Wei Ying under the envious gazes of the female saleswomen. Then, he picked up a new pair of shoes and walked back to Wei Ying. Sit down. Sit down. Mingxi put his hand on Wei Ying's shoulder and asked her to sit down. Then, while she was still in a daze, he knelt down on one knee, took out the new pair of shoes, and carefully picked up Wei Ying's feet. He was helping her put on the shoes. Yes, Mingxi was helping Wei Ying put on her shoes. This was the most explosive news in the city. After all, a few years ago, when they had just gotten married, Wei Ying and Wei Ying didn't like each other. Everyone wondered if Mingxi didn't like Wei Ying. Why did Mingxi look so cold and unhappy at the wedding? But it had only been a few years. How come Mingxi knelt down on one knee and helped Wei Ying put on her shoes? Wei Ying was also dumbfounded. Was happiness coming too suddenly? The shoes are beautiful. You have good taste. This pair suits you very well. Stand up and walk around. Shen Mingxi's every word was so gentle that Wei Ying almost thought she was dreaming. The paparazzi happened to take pictures of the scene just now. Half an hour later, the news on all the major websites was, heir of the Shen family suspected of rekindling old relationship with ex-girlfriend. Then, their Weibo exploded and dominated the trending topics for 5 hours. The top 3 trending topics were, Wei Ying Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying suspected of getting back together. Obviously, there were many gossipy netizens except for their fans. Some passersby's opinions were interesting. A gossip magazine purposely cut out a few comments and put them on the news with thought-provoking meanings. Passerby, whoa, they really got back together? When they first got married, I thought that they were a golden couple. They were truly well-matched in terms of social status and were childhood sweethearts. How could a flirtatious slut like Hui Yanyan compare to them? Passerby B, hee hee. A man who cheats on you is like a piece of RMB stained with shit. It's a pity to throw it away, but it's disgusting to keep it. I didn't expect Wei Ying to be such an unprincipled person. If I were her, I wouldn't forgive her. With her family background, it's only a matter of time before she finds a handsome male model. Passerby C, didn't you say that the Shen family was short on funds a while ago? I heard that the young master of the Shen family had been borrowing money from everywhere. How did he manage to solve it so quickly? Could it be that he had spoken to the Wei family? What a scheming man. Miss Wei had better keep her eyes open. Passerby D, at this moment, the shadow in Wei Liao's heart, After leaving the shoe store, Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying went to the tea house next door. The two of them did not care about the rumors and gossip outside. Ying, I want to apologize to you. I stood you up that day and made you sad. Shen Mingxi came to apologize sincerely. After getting off the plane, he didn't go home or to the company. He came to see Wei Ying immediately because he felt that it was important to apologize to her. It's okay. You had your reasons. I understand. Wei Ying was not happy, but when she saw Shen Mingxi in person, her heart softened. Besides, she knew that he did have something to say. Tiantian's incident was terrible. I stayed there for 12 days. When Shen Mingxi said this, it was obvious that he was exhausted. What happened? What happened? How did they punish her? Wei Ying was very concerned about the progress of the case. She had heard from her friend that if the Singaporean court found her guilty, Tian would not only be expelled from school, but also be blacklisted from Singapore and banned from entering the country forever. After all, at such a young age, she had viciously hurt other people. It was terrible. Chapter 3827. Fortunately, everything was resolved. The guardian of the injured child withdrew the lawsuit and accepted a private settlement. How much did you pay? 1 million yuan, Shen Mingxi said guiltily. Singapore dollars? Wei Ying guessed. Shen Mingxi nodded. Singapore dollars were very different from Chinese yuan. The exchange rate was 1 to 5. That was to say, 1 million Singapore dollars was equivalent to 5 million Chinese yuan. 5 million yuan. An ordinary family might not be able to earn that much in their lifetime. Shen Mingxi had to pay this sum of money just because Tian had hurt someone at school. 5 million yuan was a drop in the ocean for the Shen family, and it wasn't a huge sum for Wei Ying. But for such a young child to cause so much trouble overseas, was it really acceptable? Tian, what are you going to do now? Wei Liao asked in a low voice as he picked up his teacup. I can't go back to school. Singapore has made it clear that they want to expel her. They listed her as a dangerous person. Wei Ying, so? Wei Ying seemed to have an answer in her heart. Brought her back. Where is she? I had the driver send her back. She hasn't been in a good mood lately. After being detained by the police for a few days, she's traumatized. I've been thinking of finding a good psychologist to examine her. I don't want to leave any bad memories in her heart and affect her life in the future. Wei Ying was silent after hearing this. She seemed to understand Shen Mingxi's intention. Big brother Mingxi, you want my sister-in-law to help you, right? Wei Ying's sister-in-law, Dr. Jiang Xiaowei, was one of the top psychologists in the industry and even in the country. Now, she was not only a psychologist hired by the Municipal Public Security Bureau, but also opened her own high-end psychiatric clinic. The fee was very expensive. It was 1,000 yuan per minute. That was to say, it would cost 60,000 yuan per hour and 60 minutes. Shen Mingxi didn't lack money, but he was afraid that Jiang Shaowei would refuse if he went to the clinic. After all, Jiang Shaowei didn't like him, let alone Hui Yanyan's daughter. But if Wei Ying put in a few good words, "I do have this idea. I want you to help me ask Dr. Jiang if he's willing to do it. I won't reduce the remuneration," Shen Mingxi emphasized. "My sister-in-law doesn't need that little bit of money. She opened the clinic just for fun." Wei Ying chuckled. Her smile was thought-provoking. "Xiaoying, if you feel uncomfortable in your heart, then forget it. I apologize to you because I failed to keep my promise. It has nothing to do with this matter. Don't think too much." Shen Mingxi regretted it after he said it. Wei Ying was always overthinking things. If she thought that his eagerness to pay the bill and apologize was to curry favor with her so that she could recommend Professor Jiang, then it would be a big misunderstanding. Fortunately, Wei Ying was no longer the old Wei Ying. She was already very reasonable. "I won't think that way. Don't worry. Thank you in advance. No need. After all, I don't know if my sister-in-law will agree. You know that my second brother has never liked you." "I know." "Yes, so I can only tell my sister-in-law in private and give it a try. I'm already very grateful that you're willing to help me." Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi chatted in the tea house. When they came out, Huamin's assistant, Xianxia, happened to see them. When Xianxia returned to the hospital in the afternoon, she told Huamin about what had happened. "Sister Mian, what's wrong with the daughter of the Wei family? Has she forgotten the pain after the wound healed? How can she still be entangled with young Master Shen?" Xianxia was usually quiet, but she had a very high moral standing and didn't like women like Wei Ying who wanted to go back to the same old man. Huamin smiled and didn't say anything. At this moment, the office phone rang. "Vice Director Hua, President Wu is here for an emergency meeting. Please go upstairs." Chapter 3828. Receiving an internal call, Huamin stood up, put on his white coat, and walked out, ignoring the gossip about Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying. Huamin thought President Wu was here to hand over some work. Or maybe something important happened at the hospital. In fact, he did have something important to announce. When Huamin walked into the conference room, all the senior executives of the hospital were there. She didn't know about this. Su Yu's mother, a board member of the foundation, was also here. It meant the situation was serious. "The vice director is here," someone said, and Huamin walked toward his seat. President Wu's face was dark. He didn't smile and didn't look up at Huamin when he walked in. Huamin felt it was strange. "Since everyone is here, let's be quiet. I have something to announce." Hearing President Wu's words, everyone stopped whispering. Huamin and Su Yu's mother looked at each other. Obviously, Su Yu's mother didn't know what President Wu was going to say. President Wu was a straightforward man with a stubborn temper, but he was very principled. Over the years, he had built up the reputation of the first hospital in South Side. He doted on Huamin from the bottom of his heart, like a senior to a junior or a master to his disciple. In the past, no matter what happened, she would call Huamin in advance to discuss it with him. It was rare for her to be called to the conference room directly. "Let's talk about the first thing first. From now on, I'm no longer the director of South Side and the First Hospital." Hearing President Wu's words, the room was in an uproar. "Director, didn't you apply for retirement? You only have a few months left. Why are you in such a hurry?" "Yeah. Director, are you in a hurry to leave the country? Has your visa been issued?" "Director, we don't want you to leave." Some older doctors couldn't hold it in anymore and began to talk. "Everyone quiet down. I'm going to talk about the second thing." Then, President Wu glanced at Huamin with a complicated look in his eyes. Huamin suddenly felt it wasn't about his promotion. As expected, the second thing is that Comrade Huamin is no longer the vice director of South Side. At the same time, she will be relieved of all her duties at South Side. Huamin's reaction was calm. Everything seemed to be within reason, but it was also unexpected. This sentence was like a sudden clap of thunder, and the reaction was even more intense than the previous sentence. Huang Mian had won the hearts of everyone at Southside, even though she wasn't loved by everyone. But she had always been respected and admired her. Now that she was suddenly relieved of all her duties, did that mean she was fired? President Wu, what's going on? Su Yu's mother was the first to lose her composure. Huang Min had been like her own daughter for the past few years. She couldn't watch her daughter get bullied like this. Yeah, President Wu, what did Vice Director Hua do? Why was she suddenly fired? Is there a mistake? I'm sorry, this is a decision made by the higher-ups. I have no right to interfere. Let me put it this way. Today, Huang Min and I have been fired by the higher-ups. A new director will take over in a few days. Please cooperate with the new director. Thank you for your cooperation with Huang Min and I. Thank you for all the support you've given to the hospital. President Wu seemed to be a little emotional. He stood up and bowed to everyone before turning to leave. Huang Min immediately stood up and followed him out. The rest of the people panicked. They didn't understand what was going on. Chapter 3829. President Wu. Mian, don't ask anything. You're smart, you should understand. In short, it's worth sacrificing the two of us to protect the hospital. President Wu was in a bad mood. He tried his best to suppress his emotions and not cry. After he finished speaking, he turned around and walked away. Huang Mian looked at Director Wu's white hair and hunched back up close, and she didn't feel good about it. This old man had worked at the first hospital since he graduated from medical university. He had worked his way up and dedicated all his precious youth to the hospital. He had worked for more than 40 years. He was only a few months away from retiring. But now, he had to end all of this in such a humiliating way, in the way of being fired. Huang Min was very sad, even sadder than being fired, because she didn't want to work anymore. She wanted to focus on giving birth to her second child. However, President Wu was already so old, and a hero of the hospital was being treated like this. Wasn't it too? As for the reason, she didn't need to ask. It must have something to do with Zheng Rou's disappearance. Zheng Rou had been missing for more than a week. She didn't receive any blackmail calls. What did that mean? Perhaps the person who captured Zheng Rou wasn't after money. In other words, it was a mystery whether Zheng Rou was still alive or not. As a father, it was inevitable that Secretary Zheng would worry about his daughter. Therefore, this father vented his anger on Southside Hospital. Because Zheng Rou went missing here. And President Wu didn't know what kind of negotiation he had with Secretary Zheng. In the end, he and Huang Min resigned in exchange for the safety of Southside Hospital. Only the two of them knew the real story. Huang Min returned to the office in disappointment. She looked at the familiar desk, computer, teacup, and sofa. She actually felt a little reluctant, although she kept saying that she wanted to resign and was tired. But when she was about to get a divorce, she suddenly felt so sad. Huang Min sent Qin Chu a WeChat message. Honey. Here, honey. I'm fired. Good. Huang Min, then you don't have to be the director of Southside anymore. You can be my wife and Pudding and Little Bean's mother. Oh, you are gloating. Huang Min knew that her husband was afraid that she would be sad, so he deliberately teased her. Hubby, I'm fired. I'm unemployed from today onwards. You have to remember to take care of me. President Hua, stop messing around. Now, other than the company's working capital, the rest of the money is in your Swiss bank account. You should be the one supporting our family. Qin Chu always gave Huang Min an inexplicable sense of security. Honey, this is really sudden. You should be able to guess that I... Honey, let's talk when we get home tonight. Qin Chu was still worried that someone would eavesdrop on his voice calls outside of his home. All right. Lady Su wanted to ask Huang Min what was going on, but she found that she had left the hospital early to go home. Lady Su drove back to the city. When she passed by Imperial Star, she stopped the car and went upstairs. Mom, why are you here? You got off work early today? Su Yu saw his mother and quickly flattered her. Something big happened at Southside today. What big thing? Did your hospital kill someone? Lady Su, it's more serious than killing someone. It's Mion. She was fired by the higher-ups. What? Hearing this, Su Yu jumped up from his chair, extremely excited. Chapter 38:30. Look at how agitated you are. It's as if you've been fired. Lady Su knew that Su Yu would be very agitated after hearing the news. But our Dr. Hua is so outstanding. Why should he be fired? Su Yu asked twice in one breath. It was obvious that he was filled with anger. I don't know the details, but judging from Mion's expression, she should know what happened. I'll call old Wu now and ask. The old Wu that Su Yu mentioned was none other than President Wu himself. Don't call him. President Wu was also fired. Although on the surface, he resigned. Everyone knows that he will officially retire in a few months. Why bother? So, I can only say that something happened. President Wu and Mion were both fired. Fuck, Su Yu cursed in anger. Mion probably won't be in a good mood these days. You friends should gather more often and comfort her. Lady Su thought about it and asked the people around her to comfort Huamin. I got it, Mum. Su Yu's face had been full of worry ever since he heard the news. He didn't care about anything else. He only knew that Huamin liked being a doctor and had feelings for Southside. Otherwise, with Qin Chu's current wealth, Huamin wouldn't be able to squander it all in his lifetime. He wouldn't become a director for a mere $1,000,000 annual salary. Most importantly, the workload was huge and he had to worry about it. It was a thankless effort. When Lady Su left Imperial Star, she bumped into Han Yueyao in the lobby. When she was dancing, the soles of her feet were a little scratched, so she went to the pharmacy to buy a Band-Aid. Unexpectedly, she bumped into Su Yu's mother. Han Yueyao felt guilty in front of Su Yu's mother. So, she only greeted her in a low voice, Auntie Su. Okay, Su Yu's mother responded with a smile, nodded, and then left with the bodyguard and driver. Han Yueyao knew a smart woman like Mrs. Su wouldn't show her dissatisfaction or pester her repeatedly even if she was unhappy with her. When Han Yueyao went back, other than her dance teacher, her temporary manager was with her. She was sent here by Su Yu. Her surname was Yu, so Han Yueyao called her Sister Yu. Yao Yao, come here. The agent waved his hand. Your dance practice is okay. Your dance teacher and I are very satisfied. We are very confident that you won't be eliminated in the first round. As far as I know, this time, other than the female star with the surname Y who has some dancing skills, the others are all laymen. We don't have to be too nervous. The only thing I'm worried about now is your popularity. Sister Yu, I've never debuted. I'm not popular. Han Yueyao chuckled. Yeah, that's why you're at a disadvantage. Look at Gao Yaro's popularity. That woman is very good at making herself popular. She's using all kinds of methods to create hype. She likes to do it, so be it. I'll pass. Sister Yu, even if you ask me to do a live stream like Gao Yaro, I don't think many people will watch it. It'll be even more embarrassing. Han Yueyao knew her own limits and didn't want to compare herself with Gao Yaro. I didn't ask you to do a live stream. What I mean is, you should find a topic to talk about before the reality show starts, okay? For example, Han Yueyao didn't know what topic Sister Yu was talking about. Chapter 38:31. I heard a while ago that Jiang Yi came to work with you. He's always been popular in the industry and has a lot of connections. He's been single all these years and hasn't revealed his girlfriend. I think you should use this opportunity to create some hype. When there's a topic, we can publicly deny that you and Jiang Yi are just friends. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to overdo someone who helped me. Jiang Yi is my friend's friend. I can't do something like that. Han Yueyao knew that this might make her a little famous since Jiang Ye's popularity was good. There was an unchanging rule in the entertainment industry. It didn't matter if you were a B-list or a B-list celebrity, as long as you could tie up with a popular artist. Then, you could release photos or hire gunmen to write articles. As long as you were tied up, your exposure would skyrocket. As for Jiang Yi, when the time was right, they would deny that they were just friends. That would be the end of it, But the problem was that Han Yueyao felt that it was too despicable and shameless to do that. Yao Yao, I know you have your principles, but the reality show is about to be broadcasted live. If you don't create some hype for yourself, if you really lose in one round, do you think President Su's reputation will be ruined with you? Han Yueyao knew that her agent was telling the truth, but she just couldn't listen. If I lose in one round, I can't do anything about it. After all, I'm just a nobody. Han Yueyao smiled. You're not suitable for the entertainment industry. Look at you, if you have such a temper and don't care about fame and fortune, you should be a dance teacher. Why did you join Imperial Star? Yu Yu's agent spoke her mind, but Han Yueyao wasn't angry. Being a dance teacher doesn't make money? Yu Yu's agent, Sister Yu, don't be angry. Here, I bought coffee for you and the teacher. Drink it while it's hot. Then, Han Yueyao carefully took out 2 cups of Starbucks coffee from the bag. She gave one to the teacher and one to the agent. You don't have any? Yu Yu looked down and saw that there were only 2 cups. I don't like coffee. I'll go and do the new dance steps the teacher taught me. You two have a good rest. Then, Han Yueyao grabbed a towel to wipe the sweat off her forehead and walked to the mirror. Yu's agent shook her head helplessly. This kid is really stubborn. I wonder if it's a blessing or a curse for her to enter the entertainment industry. Shen Mingxi's private mansion. Since Hui Yanyan shamelessly took over his old house, Shen Mingxi didn't go back there. Instead, he bought himself a well-decorated villa. When he came back after meeting Wei Ying, only the nanny and Tian Tian were at home. Mr. Shen, you are back? Yeah, where's Tian Tian? Mississippi, Miss Tian Tian. Did she eat? No. I tried to persuade her for a long time, but she just locked herself in her room and didn't come out. She didn't eat either. All right, I'll go take a look. Shin Tian Tian of was 8. She didn't say a word on the plane or on the way back. He didn't know how big of a blow it was to Tian Tian and didn't know what had happened that day. The victim only said that they quarreled and then Tian Tian scratched the little girl's pretty face with a pencil. Shen Mingxi's footsteps were heavy as he walked upstairs. He didn't know when it started, but Hui Yanyan and Tian Tian had become his heaviest burden. Chapter 38-32. Shen Mingxi knocked on the door. There was no response. Shen Mingxi had no choice but to insert the key he had prepared beforehand. Then, he turned the lock and gently opened the door that Tian Tian had locked from the inside. Get out. Tian Tian seemed to have a bad temper. How long do you plan to run away? Shen Mingxi asked her calmly. You don't believe me anyway. It's useless for me to tell you. I might as well keep running away. How can I believe you if you don't tell me anything? The result will be the same whether I tell you or not. If you really care about me, you wouldn't have sent me to a foreign country alone. Tian Tian's words were like needles that slowly pierced Shen Mingxi's heart. Before Shen Mingxi could say anything, Tian Tian said something even fiercer. But I understand. After all, I'm not the child of you and Hui Yanyan. I'm another man's bastard. You didn't even want my mother, so I'm already lucky that you still want me. So, I shouldn't hate you. I should be grateful to you, right? Otherwise, I'd be in an orphanage right now or worse. Who knows? Tenon, when did you become so dark? I haven't changed. My psychology teacher said that everyone has a dark side. Didn't you send me away because you wanted to remarry your ex-wife? How was it? The days without me. Have you two ever reconciled? Tian Tian's words sent chills down Shen Mingxi's spine. This wasn't something a child her age should say. If one were to say that Tian Tian was precocious, then Tian Tian was different from the Qin twins. Although Pudding and Little Bee knew a lot, the things they said and did were beautiful and positive. They also brought happiness to the people around them. However, Tian Tian's style of speaking made Shen Mingxi feel that she was becoming more and more like her mother, Hui Yanyan. As soon as this scary thought appeared, even he felt scared. Finally, Shen Mingxi took a deep breath and slowly walked up to Tian Tian. Then he squatted down, reached out, and placed his hand on her little hand. Tian Tian, tell me what happened that day. As long as you're willing to tell me, I'll believe you. Shen Mingxi's tone was very gentle. He was coaxing Tian Tian. Although the matter had been settled, he still had the right to know what had happened. Because he remembered that after he finished the procedures, he left the school. Tian's female homeroom teacher said to him seriously, "I think it's better for you to send this child to the orphanage. Don't raise him anymore, or you'll definitely regret it." Shen Mingxi didn't say anything, but from the teacher's words, it wasn't as simple as hating Tian. Perhaps there was something else going on behind the scenes. "Would you believe me if I told you?" Tian seemed to have calmed down quite a bit. "As long as you say it sincerely, I'll believe you. Uncle Shen, about that matter, you can't blame me. I know you lost a lot of money this time, but you really can't blame me." Tian lowered her head, her eyes red. "I know I don't blame you." "Actually, what happened that day?" Tian tried hard to remember what happened that day. Suddenly, there were noises coming from downstairs. Shen Mingxi frowned slightly. He got up and opened the door. His heart sank when he saw who it was. "Shen Mingxi, I heard that my daughter came back to China. I want to see her." Hui Yanyan came with a burly man with tattoos all over his arms. Chapter 38-33. Hui Yanyan didn't look like she was here to see her daughter. Instead, she looked like she was here to cause trouble. Shen Mingxi didn't know what this man's relationship with her was, but it was obvious that he didn't come with good intentions. "You're well informed." Shen Mingxi looked at Hui Yanyan without any warmth in his eyes. This woman couldn't stir up any emotions in him. "Of course. After all, she's my daughter." "You really think she's your daughter?" Tian heard the noise and ran out behind Shen Mingxi. She looked downstairs and immediately hid behind Shen Mingxi. "Tian, come down. Come with mommy." Hui Yanyan's attitude was firm. She didn't care that Tian was in Singapore. But recently, she received news that Shen Mingxi had brought Tian back to China. So, she immediately came to pick Tian up. "I'm not leaving. Uncle Shen, I don't want to go with her. Tell her to get lost." Tian hid behind Shen Mingxi and spoke in a low voice. But it was obvious that she didn't like her mother. Tian used to like her mother very much. But later, what Hui Yanyan did left a big shadow in her heart. So, when they met, Tian didn't remember any maternal love at all. She only felt fear. Hui Yanyan saw that there was no response, so she walked upstairs. "It's mommy. Look at me." When Hui Yanyan was in the psychiatric center, she only cared about herself. She didn't have a child. Now that she was out and had some money, she came back to society. Of course, she wanted to find the only child who was related to her. "Get lost? I don't want to go back with you." "What did you say?" Hui Yanyan opened her mouth in disbelief. Tian, you don't remember me." "I'm your mother," Hui Yanyan emphasized in agitation. "You're not my mother. My mother is dead. Get lost, crazy woman." Tian scolded Hui Yanyan while clutching the corner of Shen Mingxi's shirt. "Shen Mingxi, what did you say to my daughter? Why is she treating me like this?" Hui Yanyan pointed at Shen Mingxi angrily. "Why don't you remember what you did to her?" Shen Mingxi's voice was calm. Perhaps he had already expected such a scene. He was so nice to Tian, but Tian. To say, this mother who hurt her. "Uncle Shen, I won't cause any trouble in the future. I'll listen to you. Don't make me go with this crazy woman. I hate her. Call the police and tell her to get lost. I don't want to see her again." Tian said this to Shen Mingxi in front of Hui Yanyan. No, not at all. Not only did she not lose her memory, she remembered everything clearly. That was why he was so afraid of Hui Yanyan. She was afraid that her mother would strangle her when she had a relapse. If that happened, she would die. "Hui Yanyan, you heard her. She doesn't want to go back with you." "What? Are you addicted to raising her? Do you really have ulterior motives for my daughter, just like what people say? Are you a pedophile? You're into it now." Hui Yanyan's viciousness had reached the level of mental illness. Shen Mingxi was not as agitated as before. "You saw it. I didn't stop her. Tian knows everything now. If she wants to go with you, I won't stop her." Hui Yanyan glared at Shen Mingxi and then looked at her daughter. Tian, mommy is rich now. I'm not locked up anymore. I have a villa, a sports car, and money. If you go with me, I can buy you a lot of things. I can send you to a good school. You don't have to go abroad anymore. Come with mommy. Hui Yanyan comforted Tian Tian patiently. Chapter 38-34. You're not my mother. You're a psychopath. The child's words pierced Hui Yanyan's heart deeply. Shen Mingxi, is this how you educate my daughter? She's a child filled with hatred. How can you do this to me? Hui Yanyan roared with tears in her eyes. Even now, you're still pushing the blame onto others as if you're always right. I have nothing to say to you. You'd better take your men and leave now. Otherwise, when the police come, you'll be charged with trespassing. It's not a good feeling to be locked up. You, Hui Yanyan gnashed her teeth in hatred. Shen, you'd better watch out. Shen Luo, and warned. Before leaving, Hui Yanyan's burly tattooed man didn't forget to threaten Shen Mingxi. But he didn't care about that. Seeing Hui Yanyan leave with his men, Tian Tian walked out from behind him. Uncle Shen, I'm scared. Will she come to me again? I don't know. I don't want to see her again. Do you have any way to make her disappear? Tian Tian's words made Shen Mingxi's eyelids twitch. Why did her words sound so strange and creepy? Seeing Shen Mingxi's strange look, Tian Tian immediately corrected herself. I mean, Uncle Shen, can you find a way to send her abroad? I want to stay with you. Your mother is free now and I can't touch her. Besides, she has a complicated relationship and I don't want to get involved in it. Uncle Shen, please don't send me away, okay? I won't be angry with you anymore. I'll support your decision to marry Auntie Wei Ying. I'll treat her with all my heart. Maybe it was because of Hui Yanyan's visit that night, Tian Tian's attitude toward Shen Mingxi changed drastically. Maybe she was afraid that she would be sent back to that woman. I didn't say I'd send you away. In your current situation, it's not wise for you to go back. Uncle Shen, I love you. I won't be angry with you anymore. After saying that, Tian Tian hugged Shen Mingxi's leg. Her pitiful look was pitiful. Hui Yanyan left after making such a scene. She didn't come to harass him again. Shen Mingxi was quite surprised. Did she just let it go? It was only after that incident that he realized how vicious this woman was. Huamin returned home at night as usual. It was just an understatement at the dinner table. From tomorrow onwards, I'll be unemployed. However, no one reacted because Qin Chu was still at work. Therefore, the in-laws and the two children continued to eat calmly. Everyone, please pay attention. I said, from tomorrow onwards, I'm unemployed. Huamin made another formal announcement. Mommy, stop messing around, Little Bean mumbled as she ate. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I say, why don't you believe me? I'm really unemployed. I've been fired. Mommy, if you want to act like a spoiled child, wait for Daddy to come back. We're all hungry and we're still eating. We don't have time to comfort you, Little Bean said this time. Huamin, oh my God, what was going on? Why didn't anyone care about such a big thing? Maybe it was because the dinner was too sumptuous, or maybe it was because everyone was too hungry. After a while, everyone finished their dinner like a whirlwind and went to do their own things. Her father-in-law watched the evening news regularly. Her mother-in-law went for a walk in the garden after dinner. Even though it was cold, she didn't slack off. Sometimes, she even took the initiative to help the gardener with the flowers in the greenhouse. Pudding liked to watch finance. She wore headphones and watched it on her tablet. Little Bean held a bowl of fruit after dinner. She played games and ate fruit. When Qin Chu came back, Huamin was still sitting at the dinner table, looking dazed. Honey, why are you in a daze? Qin Chu sat down beside her. Chapter 38-35. Honey, I lost my job. So? I told everyone, but they ignored me. Huamin looked wronged. They thought you were joking. After all, how could the vice director lose his job? Qin Chu smiled and put his hand on Huamin's shoulder. But I was fired. I don't know if they'll give me my salary this month. Qin Chu, honey, you're the CEO of GK, a famous conglomerate in Asia. Don't be so useless, okay? So what if I'm rich? Rich people don't print their own money. Money doesn't grow on trees, don't worry. If the hospital doesn't give you your salary this month, I'll ask for it for you. Huamin nodded heavily. You haven't eaten yet, right? I'm waiting for you. Huamin continued to act cute. The children were right. Mommy just wanted to act coquettishly for no reason tonight. Then hurry up and eat, or the food will get cold. Honey, let's go to Aoxian's ramen for dinner, okay? Huamin suddenly had an idea. Chin Chu asked again. She nodded. Okay, let's go. The car isn't in the garage yet. Chin Chu really spoiled his wife and listened to everything Huamin said. Seeing Chin Chu put his arm around Huamin's shoulder, the two of them walked out together. Little Bean pouted. I don't know why Mommy took Daddy out again. Is she trying to cheat Daddy of his money? Not necessarily. I think Mommy is getting more and more insecure because she's about to give birth to a little brother. Maybe she wants to make her presence known. After Chin Chu and Huamin drove out, the bodyguard's car automatically followed them. Chin Chu didn't mention the hospital, and neither did Huamin. She knew that her husband was getting more and more nervous and didn't want to talk about confidential matters anywhere except at home. Wuxia ramen restaurant, perhaps it was a Friday night, so it was very popular. Even though it was cold, there were still people lining up at the door. You two are here. The boss was very enthusiastic when he saw Chin Chu and Huamin. Wait a moment, that table is almost finished. It's fine. Well, wait. There's no rush. Huamin wasn't upset about being fired. Instead, he felt relaxed. Are you cold? Let's wait in the car. Chin Chu was afraid that Huamin would feel cold, so he didn't want to stand at the door. After all, the wind was a bit strong here. Huamin shook his head and smiled as he reached out his hands to cover Chin Chu's ears. Hubby, is my body temperature very high? Is it warm? Yes. Mr. Chin was still a man of few words. At this time, a young couple who had finished eating ramen walked out. They were still wearing their school uniforms and were obviously students from No. 2 high school. When they passed by Huamin, the girl with glasses suddenly exclaimed. Huamin was startled. Senior Huamin? I am. Huamin nodded. I heard that you and your hubby love ramen. I was wondering why I haven't seen you guys even once. It turns out that it's true. The girl was very excited. I really do love ramen. Huamian smiled as she looked at the girl in front of her lovingly. She was only 16 or 17 years old. Then, the girl hurriedly took out a pen and a diary from her bag. You need an autograph, right? Huamin reached out to take the pen, but an awkward scene ensued. Senior, can you ask your hubby to give me an autograph? Senior Chin Chu is so handsome. The girl looked infatuated. Huamin, Chin Chu, this is so awkward. Huamin looked down and mumbled. I can't give you an autograph. Chin Chu heartlessly rejected her. But, Senior? The junior girl looked aggrieved. Because you just made my wife feel awkward. Mr. Chin said righteously. Now, Huamin felt even more awkward. Chapter 38-36. I'll ask senior sister to sign for me first, and then you can sign for me, okay? The junior finally became sensible and understood the meaning behind his words. Hey, don't. I'm so embarrassed. Huamin snuggled into Chin Chu's arms. Senior sister, please. Looking at the little girl's pitiful look, Huamin signed first, and Chin Chu signed after her. Only then did the young couple leave. Finally, there was an empty seat, and the couple sat down. Chin Chu pulled out a chair for Huamin and carefully placed a foam cushion on it, worried that she would catch a cold. Boss, 2 bowls of ramen, Chin Chu said. Big bowls for both, right? Seeing Huamin's belly, the boss knew how much she could eat. Yes, big bowls for both. Huamin rubbed her palms, feeling very happy. When the ramen was served, they realized that the 2 bowls of ramen were not only big, but there was also a lot of beef in them. If they only sold it for 2 yuan, the boss would go bankrupt sooner or later. Boss, there's too much meat. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Eat it. You're pregnant and need nutrition. The beef in our shop is all brought back from our hometown in the countryside. In the words of the city, it's pure green without any pollution. Eat it without worry. Thank you, boss. Huamin felt warm in her heart. On this night, she and Qin Chu ate ramen from a roadside stall and looked at the night view of Second High. At this moment, she felt very satisfied. On the other side, Imperial Star also became nervous. The judges of Dance Allure were the top dance teachers, directors, and producers in the country. In other words, there were a lot of talent scouts. It just depended on whether the contestants were talented or not. Otherwise, why would so many people try to climb up the ranks? For example, you don't even need to win the championship. As long as your performance moves one of the big shots, your future will be limitless. Last year, there was a singing reality show. There was a contestant whose voice was very recognizable. Although she didn't win the competition, she was now even more popular than the champion. After the show ended, she collaborated with a famous singer to release a single. Then, she was a special guest at a certain singer's concert and became extremely popular. Therefore, everyone was nervous that Han Yueyao would participate in the reality show on behalf of Imperial Star. The last day before the competition, instead of dancing as usual, she wandered around the company with nothing to do the whole day. They even went to the staff cafeteria for lunch. Perhaps because of the scandal between her and Su Yu, many people took the initiative to curry favor with her. There were people who knew her and people who didn't. Instantly, she became a celebrity. Yao Yao, you have to do your best tomorrow. That's right. We're all waiting in front of the TV to watch the live broadcast. Some female employees who were not very familiar with him were very enthusiastic. Han Yueyao nodded with a smile and thanked him. After she sat down, Su Xiaoxiao said in disdain, "These people are so snobbish. You used to do odd jobs in the performance department. Why didn't you see them so enthusiastic? Now they're all trying to suck up to you. What's the point? That's how willful they are. I won't dwell on it. Come, let's eat." Han Yueyao smiled and sat across from Su Xiaoxiao. Gao Yaruo and a few other girls came in at this time. Maybe it was a small world, but the two groups sat very close to each other. There was only an aisle between them. Gao Yaruo's face darkened when she saw Han Yueyao. Didn't someone get special privileges and get food from the cafeteria? Why is she eating here? How strange. Gao Yaruo never missed a chance to mock Han Yueyao. Chapter 38-37. Han Yueyao looked up and chuckled. Money can't buy me anything. If I want to come, I'll come. If I don't want to come, someone will bring me food. What? Are you jealous? Jealous? What a joke. I can eat anything I want. Why should I be jealous of you? Do you really think you're a dish? I'm not a dish, but I can go on shows that you can't. So, you're not even as good as a dish. Han Yueyao didn't want to give in to Gao Yaruo in front of so many people as if she was afraid of her. Therefore, after a few words of banter, everyone started to look over. I'll let you be so smug. Let's see how you'll die tomorrow. From the looks of it, if I make it to the next round, you won't be able to sleep well. Han Yueyao lowered her head and put a bean sprout into her mouth. What a joke. You think you can make it to the next round? Don't flatter yourself. Gao Yaruo's words became more and more unpleasant. Han Yueyao ate and didn't want to continue arguing with her. She thought it was meaningless. So, she didn't want to talk back. But Su Xiaoxiao didn't want to. The Su family was famous for their short temper. Seeing Gao Yaruo's outrageous behavior, Su Xiaoxiao slammed her chopsticks on the table. Then she scolded, Gao Yaruo, what's wrong with you? You targeted me before, and then you targeted Yao Yao when she came. In the end, it's because you're better than us. Otherwise, why do you keep finding fault with us? I advise you to practice your singing and dancing, improve yourself. Don't talk about your wife all day. Do you know that in my hometown, people like you are called gossipy women? Su Xiaoxiao, what are you talking about? Don't think you can say anything just because you have a little background. You used to seduce President Su. Now that President Su doesn't like you anymore and likes Han Yueyao, you're sucking up to her. You're so cheap. It's meaningless for a woman to live like you. Gao Yarou was embarrassed in front of so many people. So, in a hurry, she said what was on her mind. After Su Xiaoxiao came to the company, Su took care of her a lot, both openly and secretly. So, everyone guessed that this girl had something to do with President Su. But no one dared to say it out loud. Everyone heard what Gao Yarou said. Hearing this, Su Xiaoxiao's face turned livid and she stood up. Gao Yarou, I want to tear your stupid mouth apart. What? I exposed your secret. Are you embarrassed? Do you want to fight? Gao Yarou was still trying to act innocent. Before Su Xiaoxiao could go over, she heard a voice at the entrance of the restaurant. Stop it. Everyone looked back and was instantly frightened. President Su, they greeted her. Su Yu and finished eating outside and came to the dining room to see Han Yueyao. He instructed her about the flow of the live stream tomorrow. He didn't expect to see such a ridiculous scene. Su Yu was also so angry that he had a headache. These little girls only knew how to cause trouble all day long. Damn, who was the one who suggested the trainees? Su Yu swore that there would be no more trainees in the next batch. It was so troublesome. What are you doing? Is this a taekwondo dojo? Su Yu said sternly. President Su. Su Xiaoxiao scolded me first. Gao Yarou was always the first to jump out to defend herself. You just said, what's the relationship between Su Xiaoxiao and me? Su Yu looked at Gao Yarou coldly, his heart full of anger. President Su. I heard about it. It's a rumor in the company. Gao Yarou felt guilty and didn't dare to say what she just said. What rumor? Su Yu continued to interrogate. Chapter 38. President Su. Gao Yarou was terrified at the critical moment and didn't dare to say anything. This was normal. After all, everyone knew about Su Yu's bad temper, so she could only show off behind his back. Now that she was in front of the person involved, she didn't even dare to fart. Say it. You have to say it. I really want to know what the rumor is. Su Yu's attitude was firm, forcing Gao Yarou into a corner. It seemed like she had to say it. The other employees were also whispering. Oh no. Gao Yarou is so unlucky. She got herself into trouble. President Su is angry. Yeah. President Su must be upset. What's going on? Gao Yarou shot herself in the foot. This woman is going to die sooner or later. After all, she likes to die. Most people were just watching the show. After all, it didn't concern them. Seeing Gao Yarou in such a difficult position, her cousin Nielingshuan's agent couldn't help but stand up. President Su. Shut up. I'm asking her, not you. The agent was speechless. Gao Yarou was scared. Even her cousin's words didn't work. What should she do? Why aren't you saying anything? Weren't you very enthusiastic just now? Su Yu questioned coldly. President Su, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Gao Yarou decided to apologize to Su Yu in front of everyone. After all, she was a woman. As long as she admitted her mistake and apologized, President Su wouldn't make things difficult for her. If it was in the past, this might have worked. After all, Su Yu didn't want to lower himself to a woman's level. But this time, President Su wanted to make an example out of her, so an apology was useless. Hey, don't apologize yet. I want to hear what you didn't hear just now. Go on. Gao Yarou was speechless. Say it. Hurry up. Otherwise, no one will leave the restaurant today. We'll all stay here and don't get off work. Hearing this, Gao Yarou's face turned as white as a sheet. It was lunchtime and there were a lot more people. There were at least a few hundred people. If everyone didn't leave and just continued to waste time here, it would be terrible. If everyone spat at her, she would die. President Su, I'll tell you everything. Tell me, what's the rumor? Su Yu pulled out a chair and sat beside Gao Yarou. Xiao En stood behind Su Yu expressionlessly, as if he was used to Su Yu's temper. President Su, I didn't say that. I heard it from others. They all say that you take special care of Su Xiaoxiao. There must be something fishy going on. Think about it. She hasn't been in the company for long, but she doesn't need to do anything. No matter how much trouble she causes, you don't want to punish her. If someone else makes a mistake, they'll be fired. Among the trainees, she's the one who's skipping classes the most. She's late and leaves early. She even left halfway when we went to a commercial performance. She didn't even perform. But instead she's being used more and more. So, everyone says that she might be yours. Go on, continue. Su Yu's face was calm. Gao Yaruo clenched her teeth and said boldly, they all say that she might be your secret lover, the kind who sleeps with you. Before Su Yu could say anything, Su Xiaoxiao exploded. Gao Yaruo, fucking bullshit. If you say one more word, I'll skin you alive. Su Xiaoxiao had a bad temper. She didn't have a good relationship with Gao Yaruo for a long time, but today was the first time she got so worked up. How dare she say that she had an affair with her uncle? Wasn't that slander? Chapter 38-39. Sit down. Su Yu glared at Su Xiaoxiao. President Su. Shut up. It's not your turn to speak. Su Yu didn't give Su Xiaoxiao any face. Han Yueyao wasn't in the mood to eat anymore and sat down as a spectator. Today, Su Yu seemed different from usual. Gao Yaruo was really in trouble this time. President Su, I didn't say that. Please understand. I'm just a messenger. Gao Yaruo tried to explain. You're a very responsible messenger. You wanted everyone in the company to know about it. You didn't forget to mention it in the cafeteria. I'm sorry, President Su. I'll never mention it again. Gao Yaruo kept apologizing and begging for forgiveness. Su Yu looked at her and then at Su Xiaoxiao, who was puffing her cheeks in anger. Then he slowly stood up. I'm sure everyone is curious about my relationship with Su Xiaoxiao. All the employees didn't dare to say anything and waited in silence. If that's the case, I'll tell you the truth today. I don't care about that, but it's not good for Xiaoxiao. After all, she's still a kid. Yes, in Su Yu's eyes, Su Xiaoxiao, who was just in her early 20s, was still a ridiculous kid. She didn't do anything mature. Hearing that Su Yu was going to tell the truth, everyone pricked up their ears. Was he going to admit that Su Xiaoxiao was his lover? Then what about Han Yueyao? While everyone was thinking about this, Su Yu continued, I'll only explain this once. If you hear such ridiculous rumors again, you'll be fired immediately. Imperial Star will never hire you. Su Xiaoxiao. She's Su Yu's niece. Her father is my cousin. We're both members of the Su family. It's that simple. Su Yu's words caused an uproar in the room. So they were his niece and uncle? Now it finally made sense why Su Xiaoxiao, the little devil, could do whatever she wanted in Imperial Star. So she was a member of the royal family, huh? Gao Yaruo couldn't believe it either. Maybe it was because of first impressions. She always felt that there was something dirty between Su Xiaoxiao and Su Yu, so she was really surprised when she heard the plot twist. Oh my god, so it's the young lady of the Su family. Isn't that a golden branch and jade leaf? That's right. No wonder they say that little girl spends money like water all day long. She's wearing all kinds of famous brands. So that's how it is. I told you a long time ago that Xiaoxiao's eyebrows are a little similar to President Su's. I even suspected that she was an illegitimate daughter, but their ages didn't match. I didn't expect this to be their relationship. Oh my god, this is so explosive. So she came to the company to play. Fortunately, we didn't offend her. She is a princess. The colleagues were all in a mess. Suddenly, there were all kinds of things being said. Did you hear me clearly this time? Su Yu glared at Gao Yaruo. I heard you clearly. Okay, that's good. From now on, you don't have to be the team leader. I think you're still immature and can't take on the responsibility of a team leader. Because of your cousin, I won't fire you. But if you keep doing this in the future, even God won't forgive you. Thank you, President Su. Although she was fired as the team leader, she was lucky that she wasn't kicked out of Imperial Star. Gao Yaruo knew that. Idiot, this is what you get for talking so much. Is this fun? Is this exciting? Are you surprised? Su Xiaoxiao looked at Gao Yaruo and asked with a faint smile. Chapter 3840. At this moment, Gao Yarwo, who had always been arrogant, had lost her usual arrogance. She couldn't be arrogant anymore. Even the onlookers felt relieved. Hee, I used to think Gao Yarwo's family was rich, so she had princess syndrome. I didn't expect Xiaoxiao to be the real princess. What a slap in the face. Yeah, even if Su Xiaoxiao slapped her, she wouldn't dare to fight back. Keep your voices down. Don't offend the real princess. My goodness, Imperial Star is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Hey, do you think Han Yueyao is also a big shot? I don't know. I only heard that Huamin recommended Han Yueyao to President Su. Wow, who's Huamin? He's President Su's favorite. The person he recommended must be a big shot. We'd better not offend people in the future. Facing Su Xiaoxiao's questioning and cursing, Gao Yarwo lost her confidence. Who is Su Xiaoxiao? Now that her identity was public, she could do whatever she wanted. But Han Yueyao knew Xiaoxiao wouldn't do that. After all, she wasn't Gao Yarwo. A few minutes after Su Yu left, Han Yueyao received a WeChat message. Come to my office. Why? Don't worry. You're so ugly. I won't sleep with you. Su Yu was speechless. Han Yueyao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She said goodbye to Xiaoxiao and left the restaurant. She took the elevator to the president's office on the top floor. When she got to the door and was already waiting there. Go in. President Su is waiting for you. President Su doesn't seem to be in a good mood today. Will he scold me? Han Yueyao was worried. Don't worry. He won't. Go in. President Su isn't the type to vent his anger on others. Han Yueyao was still uneasy, so she walked in cautiously. Come here. Su Yu beckoned her with his finger. Han Yueyao walked over anxiously. President Su. Sit. Why are you so nervous? I can't eat you. I don't taste good either, Han Yueyao retorted. Girl, you really don't want to lose out at all. If I say one sentence, you can always respond with 10 sentences. President Su, please get to the point. I'm scared. So there are times when you're scared. Let me ask you, are you nervous about going to the live broadcast tomorrow? I'm not nervous. Su Yu, can you be more serious? How can I not be nervous? Oh my God, my legs are shaking. The ratings are so high and so many people are watching. If I say something wrong or do something wrong, wouldn't I be embarrassed all the way to my grandmother's house? Under Su Yu's coercion, she finally told him the truth. That's why I called you here. Don't be nervous. I actually wanted to say that even if you were eliminated in the first round, I wouldn't scold you. I'll definitely try my best, but if I really get eliminated in the first round, it's useless even if you scold me. I originally wanted to comfort you, but why do I feel like you're comforting me now? Su Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Han Yueyao scratched her head with a smile, looking naughty. I won't go to the live broadcast tomorrow, nor will I watch it, okay? If you watch it, I'll be more nervous. It's best if you don't watch it. Han Yueyao nodded in satisfaction. Just do your best. Don't feel too much pressure. Don't feel inferior because you're not popular. Don't be afraid of those celebrities. But you must respect your seniors. Han Yueyao felt Su Yu was more formal today, so she kept his words in mind. I don't have anything else to tell you. Take an agent and an assistant with you. If anything happens, they'll talk to me immediately. Okay. If there's nothing else, you can leave now. President Su, I have one more thing to say. Go ahead. Su Yu looked up at Han Yueyao. Chapter 3841. I want to treat you to a meal. Treat me to a meal? Su Yu frowned slightly. Now? No, after you get off work, in the evening. Just the two of us? Su Yu was puzzled. No, and Sister Mion. You invited me on? Han Yueyao, what are you doing? I just think it's not easy for me to get to where I am now. Sister Mion is the person who recommended me to Imperial Star, and President Su, you're the person who gave me a precious opportunity at Imperial Star, so I want to thank you. There are plenty of opportunities to thank you. You have a live stream tomorrow, so we'll talk about it when you get good results. No, tonight. Han Yueyao was very stubborn. If she was determined, even 10 cows wouldn't be able to persuade her. Did Mian agree? Yes. Su Yu, okay then. Seeing Huamin agree, Su Yu nodded and agreed. What do you want to treat us to? Barbecue. Su Yu, you know I don't have much money, and I can't afford expensive food. You're the one who pays. Su Yu had no choice but to let her go. After Su Yu agreed, Han Yueyao walked out of the office and sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Sister Mian, I want to treat you to dinner tonight. Don't reject me. President Su is coming too, so I want to thank you. After editing for a while, Han Yueyao sent it to Su Yu. Soon, Huamian replied with one word. Huamin seemed to know what the girl was thinking, so he didn't reject her or say he didn't want her to waste money. Overjoyed, Han Yueyao typed the address and sent it to Huamin again. Sister Mian, I know your husband cares about your safety, so I won't find a place too far away. You can bring bodyguards. Then she shared an address with Huamin. It's this barbecue restaurant. It's not big, but the food is delicious. I found it by accident. See you at 8 tonight. Alright, see you there. Huamian was easy to make an appointment with, or rather, she gave Han Yueyao a lot of face. 8 o'clock in the evening, Han Yueyao arrived half an hour early and reserved a seat by the window. She told the waiter not to put too much chili in the food for pregnant women. Huamin and Su Yu arrived one after the other. Huamin brought a lot of bodyguards, and Su Yu came alone, and was nowhere to be seen. Come and sit here. Han Yueyao was happy to see them. He waved at them excitedly like a child. Mian, you were fired? When the two of them walked over, Su Yu couldn't help but ask. Buddy, you hurt my feelings. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Young Master Su, why do you have to bring it up? I was just fired and I'm still feeling down. You poured cold water on me at the right time. Huamin was joking. I heard it from my mom. I was shocked. What happened? Why were you and President Wu both fired? Before Huamin could speak, Su Yu added, Did you and old Wu get caught for corruption? Come on. My family is rich. I'm still a little short. Corruption. How can you say something like that? Why don't you say that we're not doing the right thing? Huamin was speechless. He knew that Lord Su was always full of nonsense, so his reason was quite ridiculous. To be honest, tell me what happened. I'll help you. If it doesn't work, I'll help you tear down South Side. What the fuck are the higher-ups? What are they? The more Su Yu spoke, the angrier he got. He wanted to go and settle the score with those people immediately. Chapter 3842. Lord Su, calm down. We're here to cheer for Yao Yao. Let's not talk about annoying things. Huamin was in a good mood and changed the topic with a smile. Then he and Su Yu sat down. Sister Mian, I asked the doctor and he said it's okay for a pregnant woman to eat barbecue occasionally. I also told the owner not to put too much spice. Don't worry, this place is very clean. Han Yueyao was very careful and was afraid that Huamin was pregnant and couldn't eat many things, so she did a detailed investigation. I'm the doctor. You can ask me directly. Huamin chuckled. Han Yueyao scratched her head and laughed as well. Dr. Hua is strong. She eats everything even when she's pregnant. She's not that precious. It's a pity that we can't drink. Su Yu opened a bottle of beer and filled it to the brim. It's okay, President Su. I'll drink with you. Han Yueyao picked up her beer and was about to open it when Huamin stopped her. You don't have to. The live stream starts tomorrow. If you drink too much, you'll be late. Drink some hot water with me. Okay. Han Yueyao was in a good mood. In a good mood, Han Yueyao poured a cup of hot water for Huamian and a cup for herself. She picked up 2 menus and pushed them to Huamin and Su Yu. Sister Mian, President Su, order whatever you want. I can't afford the expensive food, but you can have any meat skewers. Order whatever, right? Boss, give me 1,000 skewers for takeout, Su Yu said deliberately. How can you do that? You're eating and dashing. Han Yueyao retorted. Didn't you just boast? You said to order whatever. Suyu refused to admit it. I told you to eat, not take out. If you can really eat 1,000 skewers, I'll pay for you even if I have to go bankrupt. As soon as the two of them met, they started competing. Huamin just shook his head and smiled. Then, he quietly ordered what he liked to eat. I want 10 beef skewers, 1 pepper skewer, 1 toast skewer. Oh yes, 2 fish balls and 1 sausage. After that, Huamin put down the menu. Sister Mian, why are you eating so little? I'm eating a lot now. I don't dare to eat too much at once. I'm afraid my stomach will feel uncomfortable. Now that the baby is getting bigger, I feel like my organs are going to shift, so I don't dare to eat too much. When I get home at night, if I'm hungry, there's supper at home. HM, that's good. President Su, it's your turn. I'll eat whatever you guys order. I'm not picky. She urged Suyu. Suyu hadn't had barbecue for a long time and was quite interested in it. Indeed, he did not hesitate to order a lot of food. They were all men's favorite food, such as beef tendons, pork skin, and even a specialty grilled fish here. Sitting in this small shop, the three of them felt very lively and intimate. The three of them didn't talk about tomorrow's competition. Huamin was afraid that Han Yueyao would be more nervous if she talked about it, so they chatted casually. Suyu was smart. Although he had many things to ask Huamin, he knew this wasn't the right place, so he didn't ask. They just chatted casually. Han Yueyao sincerely invited them to dinner. After 3 rounds of drinks, Han Yueyao took a sip of the hot water. Picking up the glass of hot water, Han Yueyao stopped smiling and looked at Huamian and Suyu sternly. Sister Mian, President Su, no matter if I can become famous or make a lot of money, I'm very grateful for the opportunity you gave me. I didn't want to be a dance teacher in Jing City, but I didn't have the ability to change everything. You guys helped me, so I'll remember your kindness. Are you going to say, well, you came here to work like a cow? Suyu looked at the girl amused. Chapter 3843. No, I'm not that tacky. Give me something real. When I'm rich, I won't treat you to barbecue on the roadside. I'll treat you to seafood, abalone, shark fin, and lobster. Her words were real and Huamin was pleased to hear them. Huamin had eaten all kinds of delicacies, but Han Yueyao knew how rare it was to be grateful. That was why Huamian fell in love with Han Yueyao but didn't fall in love with Zheng Ro. At first, Zheng Ro pretended to be nice, but later, she went astray. She took it for granted that others were good to her and blamed the misfortune that she had suffered on others. Complaints were heard everywhere. Huamin couldn't get close to such a person. I'll wait for your lobster. Suyu raised his glass and clinked it with hers. Sister Mian, I'll try my best tomorrow. Han Yueyao seemed to make a promise to Huamin. Don't be so stressed. Just try your best. The result doesn't matter. Huamin knew the entertainment industry was a vanity fair. No matter what show it was, the contestants had to compete, win a ranking, and then be eliminated. Therefore, the relationships between these people became particularly complicated. They could be friends one second and enemies the next. When they finished dinner in the barbecue restaurant, it was a little past 9 p.m. Huamin wanted Suyu to drive Han Yueyao back, but Suyu said they could ride in his RV. So, Han Yueyao and Suyu got into the RV. After driving Han Yueyao to the staff dorm, Huamin asked the driver to drive them to Suyu's mansion. It was a little long and took about 40 minutes. On the way, Suyu finally talked to Huamin about some confidential topics. Mian, I actually have a lot of questions for you, but there are too many. I'll just ask them one by one. Huamin seemed to have guessed Suyu's intentions and did not refuse. There's something fishy about Zheng Ro's disappearance. You were fired from Southside because of this, right? Yeah, Secretary Zheng came by. Even though he didn't say anything, I could tell that he wasn't happy with me. President Wu was really wronged. He didn't care about Southside for a long time, but he was still implicated. That's why we're being interrogated. Do you know where Zheng Ro is? Qin Chu and Gao Ran have been investigating, haven't they? Yes, we've been investigating, but there's no news. We don't know if Zheng Ro is dead or alive. She's in a bad situation. Okay, let's not talk about him for now. Second question. You knew there was something behind the car accident, didn't you? Yes, Huan Min admitted generously. Silly. Why didn't you tell me? You were recuperating at the time, so I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be in a bad mood. I thought I'd help you get rid of him after the investigation. But you didn't expect that we couldn't find him, right? Su Yu smiled. You missed it for a long time, didn't you? Huan Min knew Su Yu wouldn't be careless. And I have been investigating, but it's strange. The man seemed to have disappeared and we couldn't find any trace of him. The more he disappeared, the more it proves that he's very powerful. Su Yu, you've offended many people over the years, and we can't investigate your enemies one by one. But you must remember that your car accident wasn't an accident. You almost died. So, from now on, you must be careful. After all, your enemies are in the dark while you're in the light. This was the first time Huan Min warned Su Yu seriously, telling him to be more careful. Mian, are you worried about me? Su Yu didn't know why he asked this question out of the blue. Chapter 3844. Of course, Huan Min answered frankly. After so many things had happened in the past few years, she had long regarded Su Yu as her closest kin. Of course, she didn't want him to get hurt. Don't worry, I'm lucky. I won't die anytime soon. After Su Yu went home, the bodyguards escorted Huan Min home. The dinner between the three of them was a happy ending. When Han Yueyao went back, Su Xiaoxiao wasn't in the dorm, but she was used to it. Han Yueyao removed her makeup and took a hot shower. Then she washed some undergarments by hand in the washroom. Su Xiaoxiao bought a lot of beer and spicy duck and went to Lin Hang's repair shop. After torturing Gao Yaruo today, she felt very good. But strangely, Lin Hang's attitude toward her was neither warm nor cold. He didn't even show the enthusiasm when he saw Han Yueyao. Big brother Lin, don't be busy. Just have a drink with me. I'm in a good mood today. I still have work to do. You can drink by yourself. Lin Hang was in a mechanic's uniform. He was modifying a race car. It looked like a big project. Yao will be on the reality show tomorrow. Do you want to go with me to watch it live? Hearing Han Yueyao's name, Lin Hang paused with the wrench in his hand. Then he said, I don't have time tomorrow. I'm busy. Okay, I'll go by myself. Our company has internal tickets. I'm going to ask my uncle for a day off to cheer for Yao. Lin Hang didn't answer. It was past 10 p.m. and Su Xiaoxiao was a bit sleepy. Big brother Lin, I'll go now. Okay. If you want me to stay here, I'll think about it. Su Xiaoxiao moved closer to Lin Hang naughtily and said behind him. Xiaoxiao, don't be naughty. Go back and rest. Lin Hang didn't like Su Xiaoxiao and didn't care about her family background, but he never wanted to take advantage of her, so he didn't do anything intimate with her. Su Xiaoxiao, on the other hand, always teased Lin Hang from time to time. Su Xiaoxiao went out and hailed a taxi. She was going to go back to the dorm, but she received a message from Gao Yaruo. Xiaoxiao, I want to see you. There's no need. I have something to tell you. If you want to apologize, then forget it. Too late. What the fuck were you doing earlier? Now that my uncle has announced that he's with me, don't you feel disgusted that you're playing this game? Su Xiaoxiao thought that Gao Ya wanted to apologize because she knew who she was. Therefore, he did not intend to continue to pay attention to this jealous woman. It's not about that. What I want to talk to you about is about the man you like. ? Su Xiaoxiao was confused. She didn't know what Gao Yaruo was up to. I'll wait for you at Shangdao Coffee on Anqing Road. Let's talk when we meet. Gao Yaruo's mysterious tone made Su Xiaoxiao curious. After thinking about it for a while, she couldn't resist her curiosity and asked the taxi driver to take her to a cafe. When she walked in, Su Xiaoxiao saw Gao Yaruo. She was dressed like a socialite, wearing a light-colored Burberry windbreaker. He had to admit that this woman's temperament was not bad. This time, she didn't bring those underlings but came by herself. It seemed that she really wanted to talk to Su Xiaoxiao alone. Say it. What do you want? My time is precious. Su Xiaoxiao sat down across from her and said impatiently, "Xiaoxiao, look at these first." Gao Yaruo took out a stack of photos and placed them on the table. Chapter 3845. What are these? Su Xiaoxiao wasn't in a hurry to pick up the photos. She knew they weren't anything good. You'll know when you see them. Ha. Gao Yaruo pretended to smile mysteriously, which disgusted Su Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao, it was my fault in the past. I misunderstood you and President Su. Seeing that Su Xiaoxiao didn't completely trust her, Gao Yaruo tried to persuade her. Hey, stop right there. Shut up. The last thing Su Xiaoxiao wanted to hear was an apology from her. She didn't care. Now that she knew how to apologize, Su Xiaoxiao didn't buy it. We're both actors. Why are you trying to trick me? I'm not here today to give you a chance to apologize. Let me tell you, even if you kneel down and kowtow to me, I won't forgive you for what you've done. After all, I, Su Xiaoxiao, have never been a generous person. I really hate you. If it weren't for your bullshit cousin, my uncle, President Su, would have kicked you out long ago. So you'd better behave yourself and don't play any tricks. Before Gao Yaruo could speak, Su Xiaoxiao scolded her. But Gao Yaruo wasn't angry. She came prepared today. All right then. Xiaoxiao, you have a fiery personality and a straightforward temper. I've always known that, so I'm not angry at you for saying this. Anyway, I'm not here today to apologize to you. Take a look at these photos first. You'll be interested. Gao Yaruo looked down at the photos on the table and smiled. Because the first photo was secretly taken of Lin Hang, and it was a photo of Lin Hang alone. Su Xiaoxiao thought Gao Yaruo knew she liked Lin Hang, so she used it to threaten her. She wasn't afraid at all. After all, not even her father could stop her from falling in love at such a young age, let alone Su Yu. Liking Lin Hang was nothing to be ashamed of. She wasn't afraid to admit it. Thinking of this, Su Xiaoxiao slowly picked up the photos and looked at them one by one. Her face grew darker and darker, until she couldn't smile anymore. Xiaoxiao, you're smart. You should know that these photos are in high definition. They're taken with a DSLR camera. There's no way they're photoshopped, so I can't fake them. Where did you get it? You don't have to know how I got here. Anyway, I just want to tell you that you have to be careful of the people around you. Don't treat them as your best friend. They secretly want to steal your man. What kind of person is that? It's worse than stabbing you in the back, right? Most of the photos were of Lin Hang and Han Yueyao alone. They didn't look intimate, but their expressions were unnatural. Moreover, the scene kept changing. Lin Hang's car repair shop, hot pot restaurant, hospital. Su Xiaoxiao didn't know that Han Yueyao and Lin Hang had spent so much time together. She couldn't describe what she was feeling. In short, it was very complicated. Su Xiaoxiao bit her lip and looked at the photos without saying a word. Xiaoxiao, I don't want to say this, but Han Yueyao is really evil. Anyone with eyes can see that you've been very nice to her ever since she came to our company. But what did she do? How could she do such a dirty thing? She lied to you and President Su. She played both of you, who treated her so well, in circles. She's just a bitch. What right does she have to be a public figure, an artist, or a star? Gao Yaruo took advantage of Su Xiaoxiao's anger to slander Han Yueyao to add fuel to the fire. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.